Hey guys, we did it. We hit Masters. I want to say a day one Masters, but it did take me 2 days. But we got to Masters in a little over 100 matches with around a 53% win rate. And in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you the top 8 decks that I used on my journey to Masters, as well as my best win streak deck, which is going to surprise you. It absolutely surprised me, as well as all the decks that I saw going against in my climb to Masters. They're also the same decks that I used. So I'm going to be giving you guys the amazing deets. So hopefully you can have a phenomenal experience climbing ranked this season. I'm just so happy they included win streaks. So let's start with the first deck in today's video, and that's going to be Solo Incineroar. It's exactly what it sounds like. You have 2 Littens, 1 Torcat, and 2 Incineroar EXs. Now, why are people playing Incineroar EXs? Well, that's because of the new supporter card, Ow, which takes your damage and just goes out of this world. Let me paint you a picture real quick. 1 energy, rare candy, Incineroar, Ow, and now your Fire Fang is doing 80 damage for 1 energy. That's just insane. And on top of that, we're throwing in things like a Rocky Helmet to further inflict damage. But this deck is prone to bricking, so I did have a lot of fun before climbing ranked in casuals with this deck. However, going into ranked, it was a little bit of wish-washy, and I personally would not recommend using this for your win streak decks unless you're just getting lucky like that. But it is a deck you're going to see on your climb, and it might be a deck that you also really enjoy and want to play. Next up is the deck that actually brought me over the line of master rank, but not the deck that had the most win streaks, surprisingly. This one is Flareon EX and Sylveon. I want you guys to think Sylveon Rampardos, except instead of Rampardos, you have Flareon that doesn't damage itself and can ramp itself. Well, technically it does damage itself, but it's not like doing 50 damage and you have an eevee bag. Now eevee bag can heal you, but that's besides the point. You throw in something like a leftovers, and instead of taking 20 with your combustibility, you're only really taking 10. So leftovers on this Flareon EX, phenomenal. I love this deck. I'm probably maybe going to keep climbing in Masters, which I typically don't do, especially since there's no Master rank protection yet. But next set, I'll be climbing with the spiciest decks in Masters. We'll hit Masters again day 1. And the rest of the cast of this deck, for the supporter cards, you have red, so your Flareon can deal up to 150, potentially 170 into grass types or something with a weakness like solgaleo EX. Yeah, that guy's still a thing. Phenomenal deck. Highly recommend this. Stop playing Rampardos Sylveon. People still are. We'll talk about that in a bit. Next up is the deck that is a massively high IQ requirement to play, including myself. I fumbled the bag repeatedly. Now there's 2 ways you can play this. You could run this with water and psychic energy, but I brick all the time. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I run it with just purely psychic energy, and it's phenomenal unless you're going up against the yellow chicken. And then you just kind of lose, skip, go to the next one. However, if you're not, this deck is just, it draws. You have your entire deck in your hand by like turn 3. It's the dumbest thing ever. And there's so much value in this deck. Your Giratina ramps itself. Your Greninja can snipe anything on your opponent's side. And then your Sylveon EX draws for you. So let me just paint you a picture real quick. Turn 2, you evolve into your Sylveon EX, you draw 2, Professor Research, draw 2, the following turn, evolve your second Sylveon, draw 2, Professor Research, draw 2. You see where I'm going with this? It's insane. However, the skill expression in this deck, there's just so many choices, and I find myself oftentimes running out the clock and just suffering from decision fatigue, not knowing what to do. So if you're not looking for stress and you're looking for a good time, maybe you don't want to play this deck. This requires a lot of skill expression, which is why it's not really my favorite. Speaking of not my favorite Lion getting a buff this set. Now you're probably wondering, what are you talking about, Zen? What on earth buffed solgaleo EX? Leftovers. You give leftovers, it doesn't do 10 damage to itself anymore. It just continuously survives like an immortal lion. It's so silly. So I genuinely don't understand leftovers. solgaleo EX, it's like they're telling us, play the lion, play the metal lion, just get an insane win streak. I got like a 4 to 5 game win streak. I'll be honest, this is probably the fastest deck to use, but it's annoying. It's annoying to go up against. It's annoying to brick with because it's just so easy to play. In fact, there was a game where on the second turn, I literally had win condition. That's it. There's nothing my opponent could have played that would have ended in a different way. So like, it's a very interesting deck because when it high rolls, there's nothing your opponent can do. So solgaleo EX, there you have it. And now here we go. This deck got me my highest win streak of, I believe, 8 games. Flareon and Flareon EX. I call it the hot dog list because it's literally just fire dogs, aka hot dogs. The idea of this is you use your non-EX Flareon to ramp your Flareon EX. And that only costs 1 prize point to your opponent, and then you bring on your Flareon EX. We have our 2 eevee bags. We have our leftovers tech to reduce the damage we take. We have double red. This thing is phenomenal, especially because of everything else we're seeing. All the Buzzwoles we're still seeing, all the Solgaleos we're still seeing, the Giratina Greninja stuff, the Sylveon stuff. This is a phenomenal deck because Flareon is just that dude that can deal that damage that you require to just win you games, to be honest. Like, it is what it is. Watch my recent video with Flareon EX and Silvally. You'll see the games. It's so good. It's such a strong card, and I'm so glad it's finally here in this meta. But just because we have new decks doesn't mean the old decks just disappear, because Silvally Rampardos is still a thing. I mean, just look at this deck list. I used it, got a couple wins with it. People are using it left and right. And the reason is the game mechanics of going second. If you're going second with this deck, I can probably safely say a made up number of 90% chance of winning is for the player that goes second playing this deck. Obviously, I just made that up, but it feels factual. It feels like if you go second with this deck, there's nothing stopping you. But on that same, thread, if you're going first, just concede and go to the next one. It doesn't feel great. So this deck is still very viable. A lot of people are playing it, but there are some caveats there. You can't choose who's going first or second. So if that doesn't bother you, Silvally Rampardos, I guess still play that one. And now the reason I wore the yellow shirt for the yellow chicken, that is still very much alive and viable. However, the one that I've seen that a lot of people are playing is the Silvally Yellow Chicken and Zeraora, mainly because it just synergizes so well with each other and does so much damage, and the Yellow Chicken suppresses all these EXs. I don't think I won a single match against an opposing Oricorio. I was going to keep saying Yellow Chicken, right? But the Oricorio just keeps stopping me in my tracks. Even though I get so close, they just hit me with something like a Nurse Joy and they fully heal, or a red card, or even a Giovanni or a good, like, it's just so frustrating. If you're running an EX deck, if you're running something like Silvally or Rampardos, this doesn't bother you. However, I really do think if you're struggling going up against opposing EXs, this is the Yellow Chicken, no EXs can have fun deck for you. And finally, the deck that still everybody's playing because Celesteela is just so dumb. Buzzwole EX, 2 Kartanas, a Pheromosa, your double Celesteelas. It just moves everything around for free. Ultra Thrusters, insane work, insane work. But there you guys have it. Those are my top 8 decks that you can expect to see on your climb to Masters, and also just use those decks if that's what you're looking to use to climb to Masters and have a good time. I recommend any of the Flareon builds that I shared in today's video, but you guys let me know in the comments what you're using to climb, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Catch you in the next one. Later.